Oh, I'm gonna cut so much. It's gonna be so good. Chew faster. Okay. Hello YouTube! Welcome back
to the Every Closet channel. My name is Stephanie.
And my name's Ethan.
Ethan! Let me hear a big shout out in the comments for Ethan. He does not enjoy being in front of the camera, so give him a nice huge welcome. Leave us some comments, leave us some likes, make him feel like this is a good idea.
Super comfortable on this side of the camera.
Exactly. So welcome back. We are together, the Every Closet team. We're full-time resellers. We resell mainly on the Poshmark app. So we posted a Q&A on our Instagram, and a bunch of you came up with questions. Thank you guys so much for asking us questions. I was worried this would be nothing. And so we're gonna answer those the best that we can. And that's the video. Quality content. The first question was the easiest question. How long have you and Ethan been together?
10 years.
10 years. So this February we'll have been together 10 years. We met in high school. We were in the same friend group. We started talking more in the first year of university, and then we started dating.
And then 10 years went by, and now we're old.
We were asked this question twice, and it was, what is your ASP, which means average sales price?
All time between both closets, average sales price is $16.83.
We just calculated that.
Canadian dollars. But that's it. Like, it's definitely, there's a sharp trend upward. There are a few reasons for that. Like, early on, we had a lot of mystery boxes and a lot of lower cost items in the like $8 to $12 range. It was a lot of stuff that we sourced in $10 bags, and just a lot of lower cost items because we didn't really know what we were doing. And yeah.
Which I think is a good way to start out. Like, honestly, source for as cheaply as you can when you're starting out, because you're gonna make a bunch of bad buys and you need to learn from them. And I'd rather you be learning from $1, $2, $3 items than from $10, $20, $30 items.
Yes.
Because that's not fun.
No.
But that kind of leads us into our next question, which was, what are the $10 bags that you guys keep talking about?
So for a detailed answer on this, you can check out our YouTube video, which I will link somewhere, probably over here. But
yeah, it was one of the earliest YouTube videos we made, so it's not our best quality, but
it does answer the question.
It answers the question real nice.
The long story short is we have an ad on Facebook Marketplace, which basically says, we will give you $10 for a large bag of clothing. And this is a real grab bag every time. Sometimes you get just the best things ever. Like, one of our earliest $10 bags was just crammed full of down puffer jackets. And we were like, wow, we just found a money printer. This is the best idea ever.
This is we're
smart. Never sourcing at a thrift store again, because down puffer jackets just come in bags. And then other times you meet someone in a sketchy parking garage, you load 7 bags into your car, and you're feeling good. You get into the car and you realize all of these bags smell like smoke and feet and horrible, and you just take them straight to Value Village and you regret all your decisions that led you there.
Yeah, so there's real highs and real lows with that, but it's a good jumping off place. And of course, like, we're in the Vancouver area. We do not have a good bill bins around here, and during the pandemic we couldn't even go to like the Seattle bins, so we just needed like a nice cheap way to get lots of inventory, and that was what we came up with. And honestly, we still do it sometimes, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, it's probably not necessary if you do have access to a bins, but
yes, go to the bin.
Yeah.
So the next question is a funny one. It was, how do you survive in a high cost of living area like the Lower Mainland? And the person who asked us this, I believe they live on the island, so I totally understand that question.
Yeah, it is a very expensive place to live in Vancouver. There are a few different parts to this. Mainly, we keep our personal expenses as low as possible. We don't have kids. We don't eat out much. Neither of us drinks very much. And we focus on the business for the most part. And
yeah, like we haven't been on a vacation in like 2 and a bit years.
Yeah.
3 years maybe, I guess.
So that definitely helps. The other part is, as we were starting out, we just tried to keep our inventory costs low. So that's where the $10 bags came in. We pretty much only thrifted when there were 50% off sales at the various thrift stores. And we're just kind of getting to the point now where we can sort of more intentionally spend a little bit more for inventory that is better quality.
That then we can make higher profits on.
Yeah. And then the last part is we knew starting this business was going to be a bit of a risk.
Another thing too, another aspect is we actually don't live in Vancouver. We live in a suburb well outside of Vancouver, because Vancouver proper is unaffordable as heck. Our suburb's slightly more affordable, and so that's fun. Also, like, yeah, we just make it work. Like, we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and yes, the business is somewhat outgrowing that, but screw it, there's nowhere else to live. So we're gonna keep living here, and we're gonna keep making like the most space-saving decisions that we can. And yeah, as Ethan was saying, just like the first year of the business, we knew we'd have to live off our savings, but now the business is at a point where it can sustain our personal expenses as well as its own expenses. So going forward, that won't be a thing. But yeah, the first year was a bit of a hold your breath, jump off the ledge, and whee! Yeah, so the next question we got, and we got 3 different questions that kind of all have the same answer. It was, what got you hooked on reselling? How did you get into reselling? And how did you decide to go full-time? And I would say the answer to all those questions is the same, is it was just circumstances that got us into it. So what got us into reselling is I really wanted to have something where I was working for myself. And I've been like wanting that for a very long time. And there were a few things that I was trying at once. And the first thing that made me any money was reselling. And so we kind of just threw ourselves into that from there. We still have those other goals of those other ventures, but this is the one that's giving us an income right now, so it is our primary focus. And then how did we decide to go full-time? I would say we didn't make that decision. I would say that decision was made for us. Even slightly, I don't know if I tell you guys this, but I've always been so cryptic about it, and I figure I should just, this is what happened. The 6 months before we started full-time the Every Closet, I was a receptionist at a mental health clinic, amusingly enough, and I had what I will lovingly refer to as one of my mental breakdowns. It was depressing. We don't need to go into it very much. I just had very severe anxiety. I was in the hospital for a little bit. It's something that I'm happy happened, because I do feel like it led us here, but it was sort of depressing at the time. But yes, I wasn't working, and then while I was sort of like trying to see if I could go back to work, I was like, I don't think I can go back and work at a mental health clinic. I think it would just be too triggering for me. So I ended up stopping that job, and then from there, that was when I opened the Every Closet in that October of 2020. I was full-time at it. And then Ethan.
So at the end of 2020, I was just finishing my articles, and I got called to the bar as a lawyer. And so the time was just kind of right for me to help Steph with the business, because I suddenly had a lot more time after finishing my articles. So we started the business together in January, and now it's been a year, and we're feeling good about it and what the future holds.
Yeah, totes. But I'm also going to make a video soon about the whole part-time versus full-time thing. Because I think it is something that's worth talking about, because I do think like I have a lot of thoughts on it now that we've been full-time for a year, and I do think it makes a lot more sense to start out as part-time because the business takes a while to build. So like, do as we say, not as we do, and yeah, that's how I feel about that. But let's go. Okay, someone asked that I find that a lot of thrift stores have a very chemical smell to their wash when they wash their clothes. How do you deal with that? And someone else asked, do you wash the clothes that you buy to sell? So these have a very similar answer as well.
So basically, we wash everything that we can.
There are fabrics you,
Yeah.
There are fabrics you don't want to wash: wool, cashmere, silk, certain viscose.
Certain like leather details, like suede, anything that wouldn't do well if it got soaked. We don't wash, but we don't sell anything that smells bad.
Yeah.
If it's something that we can't wash in our washing machine, which is quite good, like we can play with the settings on it, and it has like a really good delicate setting. But anything that we can't wash, we do just kind of leave out on our balcony to air out until it no longer smells bad. And if that doesn't happen, we just don't sell it.
Yeah.
And this has been helped recently because we've been intentionally sourcing more at just better items.
Yeah, like consignment stores and stuff, and their stuff never smells bad. It's like some of it's new with tags, all that kind of stuff. Like we don't ever wash anything new with tags because then you're gonna ruin the tag and the value, and also no one's ever worn it. But we definitely wash anything we get from $10 bags. There's been a few times when we've washed wool sweaters from $10 bags because we're kind of like, all right, this doesn't smell great and it shouldn't be washed, but if we ruin it, we didn't really put much into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, in general, we wash everything that comes through our store other than the materials that cannot be washed or anything that's tagged dry clean only. Yeah, someone asked, if you could do any job in the world, what would you do and why? And you cannot pick reselling.
Easy. I would go to space. Be an astronaut. I love space.
That's terrifying, though. I would hate that for you. And me.
Space.
No, okay, I wouldn't hate it for you. I'd hate it for me.
I'm sorry. My people need me in space.
Oh, God. My answer to this has always been the same, and it's, like, still a goal of mine. I want to be a writer. It's something that I gave up on for a few years when I went to university, and I was like, that's not a real job. But now I fully believe in not real jobs. So that is actually like a total plan of mine. I'm gonna do it. I just, step one, sustain self with self-earned income. Step two, become a writer. I don't know. There's probably a few steps in there that I missed. But I'm still gonna do it. Which kind of goes into, someone asked, what are your short-term and long-term goals? My short-term goal for the reselling business is that by the end of 2022, I want to be grossing $10,000 a month with reselling. Some combination of Poshmark Canada, Poshmark US, and probably eBay. Hopefully eBay is in there too, because that would make it a lot more doable. But yes, it is
eBay's
very annoying.
Breaking my heart. If anyone out there knows how to just start making eBay sales, let us know, because bots keep buying our things and then eBay keeps deleting our listings, and it's making me sad.
They're not necessarily bots, but they're scammers. Yeah, so that's my short-term goal. That's the next benchmark I want to hit for the business, is grossing $10,000 a month. That gives us a few options. Like, we could hire someone, we could spend more on sourcing, like that. I have a full budget about how that's gonna go. And then our long-term goals don't not involve reselling, but they involve a lot of other aspects to a lot of other things.
Yeah, like long-term, we have a lot of different ideas for different sort of revenue streams that we can layer into the business, or that can take over the business, but they take longer to do, and they definitely take longer to do sustainably.
Some of our longer term goals, like we want to get a blog up, we want to get another YouTube channel up and going. we want to try all sorts of different side hustles and see how many streams of income we can get going. And then we're sort of building another business around that concept of having lots of streams of income. So that's sort of the main long-term goal. And then, yeah. What's your favorite Starbucks drink?
Easy. Okay. If you need caffeine, just a black Pike. I'm a savage. I drink my coffee black. If you don't need caffeine, a cookie crumble frappuccino, but you get it with the white chocolate instead of the regular mocha syrup that they put in. It's, wow.
I've never played around with Starbucks drinks that much. I like whatever their featured drink is this month. I probably like that one. But yeah, I do not drink coffee black, so like a vanilla latte is kind of my go-to. What is your favorite thing to source?
Ooh.
I gotta say shoes.
Yeah, I was gonna say shoes as well.
They're worth the most money, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, they're a bit of a pain to store, but shoes, I think, it's just more obvious when shoes are worth money, I think. Flaws kind of jump out at you more than they do on other clothes. And yeah, shoes that you can resell, at least like bread and butter brands for us, like Sorels. Like our area has a lot of Sorels, and we find a lot of them, and they tend to resell well. And yeah.
I gravitate a lot towards dresses as well. We probably have way too many dresses in our closet, but
we have a lot of dresses.
That's the other thing that like people spend money on when they're spending money on something, like other than shoes and outdoor gear, they'll spend money on a dress for an occasion. And so there just are more high-end luxury branded dresses out there in the thrift stores than there are t-shirts or sweaters or anything else, because people will buy those lower end when they're buying themselves a nice ALC dress or whatever they're doing. What's your favorite brand to pick up?
Oh, I know mine.
I know yours.
What do you think it is?
It's Arc'teryx.
Yeah, it's Arc'teryx.
It's Arc'teryx.
I love Arc'teryx.
I honestly think same.
Yeah.
Like it's so freaking, like, just seeing that little dinosaur thing, it's like, I win.
Yeah, I know people say Patagonia is the better thing to pick up, but I disagree. All of our Arc'teryx has sold, and it's sold relatively quickly, whereas like we've had some new with tags Patagonia pieces that just take months to move or don't move at all. And yeah, Arc'teryx is the GOAT. Love it.
Fight us.
Yeah.
How do you set up a US closet?
So for a very detailed answer on this,
Step-by-step detailed answer.
Step by step, check out our YouTube video. It's somewhere. I think it goes it's probably here or there. But there's no short answer. There's no short answer.
Yeah.
I can tell you what you need real quick, but check out our video because it doesn't make sense without the step by step. You need a U.S. return address. You need a U.S. bank account, and it is easier to get that than you might think. And you need a cross-border shipper. Those are the three main things, but there's a bunch of steps. So check out our video.
Yeah, if you have any questions at all, always DM me on Instagram. I get these questions all the time since we made that video, and I begrudge no one, nothing. That was a dumb thing to say. Ooh, what's your best advice when sales are slow?
To relist your inventory that's been in for a while. So go to your closet, sort by Justin, and relist it from the bottom up. We use Prime Lister to do this. We do have an affiliate link actually, which you can find down in the description. I'll throw it up on the screen as well, but Prime Lister does make it really easy. You just kind of check off which items you want to relist, go to Prime Lister, click relist, done.
Yeah, we do that overnight when we sleep.
Yeah, like we'll relist maybe 100 to 200 items overnight, almost every night, because we do have about 1,500 items in our closet right now, and that definitely does help, at least to sort of refresh the listings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard question because I feel like I wish there was something that you could do to change it when sales are slow. And honest to goodness, my actual best advice is to ignore it when sales are low. Unless it's been an extended period of time and you're noticing like a significant drop off for a long time. Sales have always fluctuated on Poshmark for us, and I think that is just kind of how sales go. Like, I've heard of summer slowdown. We didn't experience it this year, but we might next year. I've heard Q4 is really good. We did not experience that this year. We might next year. I don't think we've been doing this long enough to say those types of patterns. I just think that I can say that every few days we get a huge spike in sales, and every few days we get a huge drop off in sales, and that happens pretty reliably. My number one piece of advice is, if it's been a day or 2 or 3 since you got a sale, would be to accept whatever crap offer someone just sent you. Because I have this theory that sales lead to more sales. Like, I think the algorithm likes it when we accept offers. That is an unsubstantiated theory.
Let me get a tinfoil hat.
That is a very unsubstantiated theory, but it generally happens like that, where you get one sale and then it leads to like 2, 3, 4, 5 more sales. So if it has been a while since you got a sale, consider accepting some low offers or sending some low offers to get it rolling again. If it has been an extended time without sales, consider reevaluating what you're doing, what you're sourcing, what you're pricing at, your photos, all the general quality things, if it's been a very long time. And other than that, yeah, just roll with it is kind of my best advice. That's definitely how I approach it, is sales are gonna go up, sales are gonna go down, and I'm gonna keep listing this many things a day anyway.
Yes.
Okay, the next question was, how many active listings do you currently have? And I just posted this to my stories a while ago, but we actually have deleted quite a bit since then. So for the first time in like 6 months, our active listings are 1,300.
Yeah, so on both closets we had about 1,700 listings at one point. And November we didn't really make very many new listings at all, like maybe 50 at most.
I think I've told you guys about this in the November recap. It was a rebuilding month.
Yeah.
Right?
We were focused on getting regular YouTube videos up and reorganizing our space.
For the 90th time.
Yeah, but it has helped us grow as well, and like next month and for the next 6 to 8 months, our space is kind of set up to accept whatever new inventory we throw into it, which for an under 1,200 square foot apartment is very necessary. So yeah, about 1,300 active listings right now.
Yes, but check back with us in a month or 2, and if it's not at least 1,700 again, then you feel free to slap me across my face for slacking.
No.
Okay, the second to last real question was, what's your inventory system? First of all, I'm totally going to make a video on our inventory system, going in depth one day, but that's not going to be super soon, so let's do a shorter answer. When I take photos, a dry erase board is the easiest way to do your measurements. So this is all in permanent marker, and then I dry erase the measurements depending on what I'm measuring, tops or bottoms. And as you can see here, this is inventory number. So I will write the inventory number here, and then the measurements, and I'll take the last photo I take is of this board with the inventory number and the measurements. When we make the listing, hopefully you guys know this, but if you don't, at the additional details section at the bottom, you can add in an SKU for like a SKU number, and I highly recommend utilizing that. When it sells, that number comes up with like the email, and so then it's so simple. It's then that number, and then we go to the corresponding bin with those numbers and find that exact one. So this is our bin.
So this is inventory numbers 766 to 790, and when you go in here, say we sold 780, we just pull this bin, find our clear mailer, or not mailer, our
Ooh,
clear
I
envelope.
love that item.
Yeah, it's an Adidas piece.
I love Adidas, you guys know.
But yeah, so what we do then is we take the SKU number from the board and we write it on a piece of just painter's tape, slap it on the outside of one of these envelopes where we fold the item nicely, put it in there, and then it goes into the corresponding bin. And when you do this, it makes shipping so much easier because, especially for us, like, we carry cat fur, like, on us, we lint roll ourselves constantly, but it gets everywhere. So all we have to do is just make sure the item is clean, folded nicely, and in one of these. And
the tips we have for inventory is, first of all, we used to use bigger bins. F that, then you have to search for more than like 5-10 minutes sometimes. You want about 20 to 25 items per bin max. You don't want to be searching more than that, so you want smaller bins. Surprisingly, but yes, you do.
Yeah.
The second thing is we used to store them in open poly mailers, like ready to ship, but they weren't sealed. And the reason that we now seal them away is, first of all, so nothing happens to them between when we're photographing and listing and when we are selling them. So no more cat hair gets on this, nothing else happens to this. It's in a sealed bag, in a sealed bin, and it's just off of our plate until it sells. Which is why also we measure every single thing that we put into these bins. We do that because that way, no matter what questions someone has, I never have to go grab this and pull it out, which would be a huge pain. And then I just wouldn't answer questions, and then I just lose some sales. So, yeah.
The other thing as well is we both, I know, feel not great about the addition of more plastic, but the reality is that our reviews and our love notes have just increased in number quite a lot since we switched our system.
Drastic increase. People mention it in the love notes all the time. They're like, it comes new like it was from the store. People say it all the time.
Yeah. So the reality is purchasers just like this system so much more. We've gotten so much positive feedback from it. It is just astonishing to me. Yeah. Because I was worried we never get comments about like, oh, it's overpackaged. Like, that's kind of what my thought was.
Yeah, we don't actually like packages that are packaged the way we package them. Like, if I was receiving something, I would just want someone to put the clothes in one box or mailer and send it to me. I don't like all the bells and whistles, but
people like it.
Overwhelmingly, our buyers do. So we had to adopt it. We have a little thank you sticker on each thing. And people just think it's the nicest, most overdone thing.
Yeah.
I think it's overdone, but...
And it does also, like, on our end, it does make shipping just so much easier when things have these numbers, because when something sells, you pull it, throw it in a poly mailer. It's already...
As is.
It's compressed down as much as it can be, so it makes shipping easier. We toss it in a poly mailer with a thank you note and slap the label on it, and away it goes. It's just a really convenient. So
yeah, but I'll totally make a video on this one day, but not yet because look, guys, there's a lot to do. But anyway, I believe that was all the real questions. Someone also asked, "Why are you so cute?"
Obviously directed at me. Thank you. Actually, I need to shave. Ooh.
Yes. If you guys have any more questions for us, leave them in this video and we'll totally do another Q&A if there seems like there's demand for it. But yeah, this was super fun, and say thank you, Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan,
for coming into our video and for letting Stephanie talk and talk and talk.
That's what I cut for. What? Get me out of here!
Okay, yeah, hit subscribe. See you next time.